Oh my god, did you Stallions and Stallionettes hear there's a massive third-party controller ban for Xbox? None of these custom controllers are going to be usable anymore. I gotta delete my channel. None of the reviews I've done for Xbox are valid anymore.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
Thank you.
I'm seeing articles pop up from gaming journalistic platforms like Kotaku and Press Square, and I'm also seeing other YouTubers that don't know what they're talking about regurgitate this news. So I'm gonna go ahead and do one of my favorite pastimes, which is debunking some gamepad misinformation. And in this video, first of all, we're gonna cover the news. What exactly is happening with this Xbox ban, as Microsoft has indeed said they are banning third-party accessories such as headsets and unauthorized gamepads. Then we're gonna talk about what third-party controllers and accessories still work, because I tested over 40 of them last night from 10 different custom premium or pro controller companies. Then I'm going to explain to you that even if this ban takes place, there's still controllers that are custom that are invisible to Microsoft's little detection program. And then last but certainly not least, the little nail in the coffin, the straw that broke the camel's sack or back, if you will, is going to be for you to take a deep look at what platform you're playing on and reassess, is this really where I want to be with Xbox? Oh boy. Oh, he's going to talk about like console war style stuff, Xbox versus PlayStation and Nintendo in this video? Oh, a hot take incoming? Oh boy. I'm caffeinated, you can tell. Let's get into the video.
This is your controller captain. We've reached 6,900 feet. Go ahead and start flicking the sticks and mollywopping the back paddles.
You don't like back paddles? How about those rear buttons? We've tested almost 100 custom and premium controllers, and we're only at the beginning. You need a thumbstick guide or tutorial on how to overclock your controller? Check out the controller playlist.
Bing bong.
Controller captain out.
A little disclaimer to cover my buns, my tuchus, my rump. I'm not trying to step on Microsoft's toes, and I do not condone the unauthorized use of controllers, gamepads, accessories that aren't meant to be used on that console, that platform. Everything in this video is for education purposes, and I never condone the use of Chronuses, adapters, or converters for any kind of an unfair advantage in multiplayer, and we're going to be focusing specifically on the use of controllers and adapters still authorized after this Xbox update to be used on the platform, and my thoughts on how some of these unauthorized devices still could be used on the Xbox platform, but only for the purposes of using PlayStation and Switch controllers on the Xbox platform, not for an unfair advantage, any cheater features or mods or anything like that, but maybe because you prefer the shape and shell design of a PlayStation controller or the spacing and size of face buttons on the Switch controller. No nefarious angle here, and I always advise my audience, the Stallions and Stallionettes, to steer clear of cheater devices, especially if you're buying it with the intent of using it online as some kind of a sleazeball. Just don't you do it. So first of all, covering the news, the topic at hand, what is happening. If you type in Xbox controller ban, you're going to get all these results. It's pretty unfortunate that that's what this is being labeled as, an accessory ban, a controller ban. It's for unauthorized accessories, which are going to be generic, nameless, brandless clones from Amazon, literally controllers that have no logo, branding. They're produced on Alibaba, AliExpress, Wish, Temu, etc., rebranded under 30 different names. You can plug it into that USB port on the front of your Series X, and it'll work, although it's not meant to. Those gamepads are no longer going to be usable for you. So whenever you plug in one of these janky devices, these controllers, you will get this error code, which is just a warning as of now. You're getting a 2 weeks grace period where you can still use that piece of shit, and then you're not going to be able to. You're going to see this error message letting you know that it is an unsupported device, and what Microsoft is recommending you do is to seek a return from the original manufacturer, which you might be out of the spec of a return policy. The main reason Microsoft is taking this approach is to protect their gamers from unauthorized devices that could be used for cheating. For example, I've got the Zen Cronus device over here, a little cheater box. Kevin, why the hell is that in your hand right now? Well, you see, much like a firearm, the purpose of that cold, greasy device isn't to shoot up a school full of innocent civilians. You could use it for hunting, home protection, you could customize that bad boy with a new optic, paint job, show your buddies at the outdoor range, maybe pick up a pack of tannerite from Walmart and blow that shit up. Have a good time with it. But sometimes you get people that will use those guns, those firearms, for a purpose they ain't really ought to do. Just like the Zen Cronus, the very first thing listed is to use almost any controller on almost any console. And if you go to the description of the product on the landing page, the very first selling feature mentioned is that it is the definitive controller adapters. That is what this device is designed to do, is to convert, to adapt. However, you can also load it with mods, and that's where these assholes take advantage of devices like this to load them up full of mods like drop shot and auto sniper breath hold and auto sprint and turning their semi-automatic guns to full auto with turbo functionality and all this crap that I speak out against in every single video where I'm covering a controller with a built-in mod chip or an adapter or converter that allows you to front load mods. Just don't bring them to multiplayer. If you're playing a story-driven offline game where it's a repetitive RPG, maybe you're mining for resources or something, yeah, go ahead and lock that turbo function in there and mine away with your pickaxe or something. But when you're bringing it to multiplayer, you're an absolute sleazeball. And unfortunately, a lot of these devices are undetectable. And that's where Microsoft is coming from trying to implement this change. It's from a good spot in their heart, but thus far the gaming community is just shitting on them because fighting game players are notoriously outspoken for using a stock Series X controller because of the hybrid D-pad that's both a wheel and a 4-point. It just doesn't work great for a lot of fighting games. And a lot of the third-party fight pads that these gamers are using aren't authorized Xbox accessories that have that little lime green stamp and sigil in the corner, so they're running into a lot of problems, and thus far it's been a lot of backlash from the gaming community. Thus far I haven't really heard anybody being happy about this change. Everyone's just worried that their controllers aren't going to work, but luckily I'm here to tell you in the next section that simply is not the case. You keep watching the channel, you can use whatever goddamn gamepad you want. You're subscribed, you can literally use whatever gamepad's in your house. I don't have that power to grant you. I might be able to make you laugh occasionally, and laughter is the spice of life. I'm gonna splash a little pepper in your eyes. But as you've noticed with every controller review during the unboxing section, I note this little design for Xbox placard, the stamp and sigil. I always joke about it saying it's coming from the desk of Phil Spencer and whatnot, although he has now stepped down and there is a new head of Xbox division, which I'll be covering that news in the near future. Jim Ryan and Phil Spencer stepped down from the heads of their gaming divisions around the same time. So Microsoft is trying to protect its gamers by blocking undetectable devices that indeed are going to remain undetectable because of what I'm going to talk about later, which is the fact that they have patches or updates which literally change how the console reads the devices, and even if they get strongly blocked, new converters or adapters are just going to come out. But I wanted to alleviate the worries of some of the Stallions and Stallionettes trotting around the stable. Last night I tested gamepad after gamepad, plugging it into the USB port in the front and also going wireless if that was possible. Every single controller that I used, whether it was from Razer or the Victrix Gambit or a Mad Catz or a Logitech or a HYPR, every single one of them worked, but I wanted to take it a step further, so I plugged in my Brook Accessories XB2, which is one of the devices that is listed as having issues with this new update, and it was able to Bluetooth pair up a DualSense controller. Now, apparently you're only getting this message if you play an online multiplayer. Keep in mind, I'm just using a DualSense controller. It doesn't have a mod chip on board or any crazy hoopla like that, just a PlayStation 5 controller on an Xbox. Luckily, every controller that I tested did work because it has that little stamp and sigil on the box, but it's a licensed Xbox accessory. It's meant to work on that console, that platform. It's authorized by Microsoft, so you're good to go there. But as far as converters or adapters, I've been using the Brook XB2 for the longest time to use PlayStation and Switch controllers on Xbox, not in a nefarious way. You don't get any special abilities or any cheating stuff online or anything like that. It's just the shape of the DualSense controller. I prefer the stick layout, and I have a bunch of custom DualSenses that I'd like to be using on Xbox. Just like sometimes I want to use my Xbox controllers on PlayStation, and I shouldn't be limited by platform. Unless, according to Microsoft, of course, then absolutely you should be locked in by platform. And not just platform, also authorized Microsoft devices. The Brook XB2 adapter currently does work both wired and also wirelessly Bluetoothing a DualSense controller to the Xbox. However, when I do the system update, which there is one available for the Series X, there's a strong chance that that adapter becomes not usable.
No! God, please, no! No!
At which point we have to look at the fact that Brook Accessories is pretty aggressive about rolling out firmware patches or updates to make their converters still work after these updates, and it's been Xbox every single time that's been trying to block this compatibility. I mentioned it about a year and a half ago on a converter review that the converter I was talking about no longer worked on Xbox, but there was a new version. It went from the XB to the XB2, and that converter adapter worked. Now Microsoft is attempting to block that as well. You've got to keep in mind there's software updates available for those converters, and even once the firmware's capped out and it's blocked, it's firmware locked or blocked from the device, then a new physical device, another $45 converter is going to pop up on Amazon that allows you to use the controller you want on the console. But I do want to let my audience know, full transparency, there is a chance that eventually converters or adapters like the XB2 are no longer usable on Xbox. You just can't use PlayStation or Switch controllers on that platform anymore, which is unfortunate. However, one little workaround around that is the fact that all these custom controllers that start life as a stock Xbox controller, so Scuff, AIM, BattleViever, Hyper, Cinch, Mega Mods, just to name a few, those all communicate with the Xbox just like a stock controller, because at their core, that's what they are. The PCB, the battery, all the internals are stock. It's just been customized with additional parts. Remappable back buttons, trigger stops, and swappable thumbstick caps, maybe some rubberized grips and cool colors on there. But as far as your console's concerned, you're just using a stock controller, and these controllers are never going to be detectable because the console just realizes, oh, yep, it's a stock Xbox controller. So that might be a route for you down the road if all these unauthorized third-party controllers become blocked, which thus far, like I said, all the ones I've tested tested Victrix Gambit, Razer, HYPR, they're all authorized Xbox products, so you're okay. If those do become blocked because Microsoft gets really aggressive with this financial push to make all of their gamepads the only ones you can use on their platform,
You'd still be able to use these customs that start life as a stock controller.
and my last point, get your toes ready because I'm going to step on a few of them, is the fact that Xbox is the trashiest trash bin platform of them all. If you see on screen here, I know maybe you were just listening to me or something, but go ahead and look on the screen here. I made a little tier list here of all the gaming platforms currently, consoles, PCs, handhelds, VR, etc. And as you can see, Xbox consoles are right down there at the bottom of the totem pole. And I'm going to take it a step further and tell you, if you own a gaming PC, there is no reason to own an Xbox console because there is no Xbox exclusives. There's only Microsoft exclusives. They launch day and date on the PC, which if you're not comparing a $500 budget PC to a $500 console, if you're building a mid to upper end PC, yeah, it's going to outperform your Series X and give you all the goodies of being on PC, cheaper games, being able to use whatever controllers you want, whatever programs, whatever accessories, higher frame rate, and using whatever comms apps you want, like Discord. Actually, Discord's, I think, on Xbox now. Point made anyway, PC. And not to spoil any of the fun of the upcoming console war video I'm shooting, where I'm going to be wearing costumes, dressed like a Xbox fanboy, and dressed like a PlayStation fanboy, and dressed like a Nintendo fangirl, and I'm going to be prancing around my room talking shit about all these consoles, what they do right and what they do wrong. And I don't want to spoil any of the good knee-slapping fun we're going to have there, but Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox division, even said if the console wars existed, that they have lost. And I mean, if you look at the last two console generations, not only sales number-wise, but also the general satisfaction of their customers, plus the fact that Xbox hasn't really innovated or done anything special, and despite the fact that their console's a little bit more strong teraflop-wise, the PS5 is actually optimized better to where game developers have said, quoted in articles, that the PS5 is performing better than the Series X. I've got so much more to say, but you're gonna have to subscribe for that video so you can watch me bash on the Xbox, which by the way, I've owned a Series S and X for about 2 years, right next to that Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 5 brothers. And I'm confidently telling you, looking into this camera lens and sucking on this Shure SM7B, telling you that Xbox is the most garbage platform of all of them. I know that hurts, that stings a little bit. I think even my Discord moderator is a diehard Xbox fan. I'm sorry to all of you that are. Look around, read the room, read the climate of gaming for the last 7 or 8 years.
Don't get me wrong, PlayStation does a lot of anti-consumer shit,
A lot of really sleazy, scummy moves, which I always call out.
In fact, I would say they do more harebrained, stupid decisions than Xbox,
But back over here, I still stand with everything I just ranted and raved about. Xbox, Switch, PlayStation, PC, and PC handhelds.
This has been AK-40 Kevin, aka the Controller Captain. This room that I sit in is the GamerHeaven. You are a Stallion and or Stallionette, and you're subscribed. If you're not, remedy that by turning that red button gray. 50 shades of it. Drop in the comment section below your opinion of this debacle. I'm sorry if I offended your favorite platform, the console you've been playing on since you were a wee lad. The main purpose of this video, I wanted to go over the article. What is happening here? Starting in a couple of weeks, Microsoft's going to be blocking unauthorized accessories, and we went over what are these unauthorized accessories. Really shitty controllers and headsets, probably 25 bucks on Amazon, that don't even have a brand on them. So nothing that I've tested on the channel. And even further, the devices that Microsoft really does want to block, and I wouldn't even be upset if they got blocked in multiplayer just because of the sleazy uses that people tend to use these devices for. If the worst thing that happens to me is that I can't use PlayStation or Switch controllers on Xbox, but gamers are now safe online because there's less of a chance of people running undetectable devices like Cronus's, that's fine with me. I really don't care because I don't play that often on Xbox unless it's a Game Pass game, in which case I could install that on the Game Pass launcher for PC anyway. So you're really getting my point here. There's no point for me to really power on my Xbox anymore, other than Xbox exclusive game reviews and accessories for it and stuff like that. But as of now, all these controllers work, all these adapters work, but even if they don't, converters get updates, and even if that becomes a full-blown block, there's stock controllers that get customized that still look like a stock controller to the console, despite the fact it's like a $300 Pro controller. I'll see you Stallions and Stallionettes tomorrow. If you enjoyed the video, liking it helps it to get seen by more gamers. This information will reach and assist them as well, which in turn helps me grow this little channel, which I do greatly appreciate. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover news in the gaming community and industry, tutorials helping you get set up streaming and YouTubing, as well as honest gaming product reviews, keyboards, mice, headsets, controllers, mics, chairs, etc. There are some hefty exclusive discount codes found only in the description of my videos and only for the audience here at GamerHeaven. I have links to all my other platforms and socials in the description below. To get in touch touch with myself and the Stallions and Stallionettes of GamerHeaven, join the community Discord, and check me out at twitch.tv where I go live every other leap year on a blue moon if it falls into an odd calendar number, and my pH balance is on point. Just kidding. Starting June, I'm going to be live streaming a lot. Thanks for watching. This has been AK40 Kevin hosting GamerHeaven, and I'll see you tomorrow because I upload daily. All the time. 60% of the time. Sometimes. Most of the time. Peace.